right, folks, welcome back for another episode of Buff the Great. I wanted to welcome my next guest. He is a dope producer, a dope DJ based out of Canada, Nova Scotia rooted producer, has 60 plus albums under his belt. He started DJing in 1991, then producing shortly after. Moved as a founding member of the Nova Scotia rap group, hip club group, best known for the video of Shooting the Gift, and later toured extensively as the DJ for the alternative rock group Len, who was famous for their Steal My Sunshine record. I remember that quite clearly. But I wanted to welcome DJ Moves, man. Hey, thanks for hopping on the show. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, man. It's a long weekend for us, and I think it's Thanksgiving weekend for y'all, right? Out there?
Yep. Same shit.
Awesome, man. Good shit, man. Well, hey, thanks for your time. Hey, before we talk into all the amazing things that you've done, I usually like to take it back and just learn about some of the critical music or experiences that were important in your development in the person you are today. So real quick, can you tell me where in Canada were you born and where do you hang your hat these days?
I was born in a town of 10,000 people. It's called Truro, Nova Scotia.
Yep.
45 minutes from Halifax on the other coast of Nova Scotia. And I currently reside there now. I had moved in 1996 to Halifax after high school. Then I moved to Toronto in 1999 when Len asked me to be their DJ.
Nice.
And then in 2001, I moved to Vancouver.
Can you tell me what your first exposure to music was? What were your parents playing, or what was your first experience with music?
My father's record collection was Black Sabbath and
Nice.
Various Canadian kind of acid rockish groups. Kind of sometimes it was more jazz rock. Like there's a group called Doctor Music that I sampled a lot of their stuff. But that first hip hop groove record that we made when I was in high school, that was all sampled from my father's record collection. Yeah.
Yeah, and at some point you get exposed to rap. What was the first time hearing rap music?
The first time I heard rap was on the radio here in Truro it was probably 1985 or 6, and it was the Fat Boys.
Hey, they were pretty critical of my upbringing too. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was the only stuff you could hear on the radio around here was like some of the Fat Boys more bigger songs like Wipeout and
yeah, with the Beach Boys, right? Right.
Because of Wipeout, they'd start playing other shit like All You Can Eat and stuff because it was just still all funny songs. They just hadn't hit yet. But
man.
Then it became bigger for me when Much Music here in Canada, which is it's like MTV was in the States.
Yeah.
The music video television, but they had started their own Rap City and in probably about 1989 or 90.
Yeah, and I can tell when folks kind of just in terms of taste of music when they just like rap, but just as I studied your music, man, you got a very eclectic taste, man. It seems like you like everything, and the music that I have listened to, just you can tell you pull from everywhere, man. So is that just the way you sample, or do you like all music all around? You got
I pretty much like all music all around. I'm not really into fiddle music too much,
right.
Or even though like some of my family members even got records.
Yeah, nice. Oh man, hey, everything's got a sample potential.
No, I've already listened to it all. It's not, but yeah, I like everything really. I even like older country music. I don't like the new country rap type of stuff that they make now.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't. That's the only thing really I don't like.
And so at some point, man, you decide that you were going to become a DJ, or was it something else? Was it rap, or did you know off the bat, hey, I wanted to try to be a disc jockey?
It was the very first episode of what was called Soul in the City, which played rap videos before there was Rap City.
Yeah.
And they had played a clip of Cash Money DJing live in Toronto.
Okay.
And that's what made me want to DJ.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's not
But
an easy feat, too, man. Like, I mean, I know when I was a kid, man, I just could never get them because they were too expensive. But how'd you go about getting your first turntable?
I found out what the turntables were called by I called a club in Halifax and asked them what the turntables were, the big heavy ones, and they told me they were Techniques 1200s. So then I looked in the newspaper
Oh
want
my God.
ads, and there was two for sale from a DJ in Sackville, which is outside of Halifax.
Get out of here. That's crazy. Just
Yeah,
yeah, an ad on the
you know how much they
newspaper.
cost it? They
Huh?
cost $300 for both of them.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So at that point, I was in grade 10, and I worked at a grocery store, stocking shelves and getting carts. So I saved up my money from that and bought the turntables in the mixer.
Were you using your dad's records off the bat, or what was it like trying to get records to learn, how to spin and all that good stuff?
I would call every week when I got paid. The first thing I would do after I got paid, it was go to the bank, cash, put my check in
Yeah.
the bank, and then I would call this record store called Upstairs Records in New York and ask what new records they had, and then I'd
Oh man.
buy like $100 worth a week.
Oh shit. Hey, that's awesome, man. Do you recall the first record that you purchased?
The first record that I purchased, well, by myself when I was a kid, before that was Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Like the first rap record that I ever bought would have been a Jailhouse Rap by Fat Boys.
Oh man, oh yeah, that's good. Did you ever see their movie, The Orderlies? Classic
No,
movie.
it's a freaking crazy ass movie, that shit.
Yeah. Hey, Fat Boys were great, man. Well, hey, this is a question I love to ask everybody. Is where did the name DJ Moves come from? Was that the first name that you used, or was that the final name after a bunch of name changes?
Nope, that was the first name, and I was named by 6'2".
Oh man, okay,
At that
yeah,
point, great. We were in the same high school, as well as Chuck Love and Mackenzie from both also from Hip Love Groove.
yep,
6'2" was in Hip Love Group first. He started the group and
okay.
got us all into it. And his name then was CL Scar, criminal
Oh
lyricist,
man.
criminal lyricist. Something I can't remember what the fuck Scar stood for. It was all, but
Oh, that is wild.
and before Hip Club Groove, me and him had a group first, and we were called Criminal Moves.
And were you guys in the same grade, or like how did you guys even connect? What's the story behind
He was from Toronto, and his mother moved down to the town where I live, and then we were in the same grade. Yeah,
that? Okay, hung out, and then did he start rapping there, or was he already rapping in Toronto?
he was rapping in Toronto just by himself. Like as soon as he came here, it was all about rap for him. He was like the crazy rap guy from Toronto in their small little town in fucking
Tearing it
Eastern.
up.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
yeah,
I remember too, like being a rapper and then having friends who did it, and then we would always try to get them to rap too. So did he ever put you in a position where like, come on, moves, spit some bars, or was it always just he just wanted you to spin, or what was that relationship like?
no, it was all. I was supposed to make the beats and DJ, and that was it. I wasn't even allowed to say nothing.
Hey, you mentioned how your name came, and actually you led into my next question, which is what I wanted to talk about too. Was
Cool.
that your hip hop band, which was Hip Club Groove, and that was about what, late '90s when that happened?
That was early '90s, 1991.
Okay, '91. Yep.
Yeah.
And so, what was the story? How did Check Love and then MC or Mackenzie eventually come into the story? So it was you two, and then how did you meet the other members?
Uh, Mackenzie was a year younger than us in high school, and Corey Chuck Love was a year older than us.
Hmm.
And they were always going to another guy's house to record little demos too. His name is Gordski. He was in a group called The Goods from Halifax.
Yep.
And he was in the group too at first until he moved. Since he was a year ahead of us, he went to university, and then all the stuff started happening with that group. We get a record deal, uh, had to do videos, had to tour across Canada and back, and he couldn't do it because his parents had just paid for
Right.
him.
Right.
right? So he was out and right when we started recording in a big studio, all the songs that we had, 6'2" decided that he was quitting the group
Okay.
the the day before we started recording the album.
Oh damn.
So
And that was why he just he wanted to do something different, or
yeah, he just thought we were getting too. He wanted to be more underground, and
yeah.
we got signed by a rock label.
Okay.
But what we were thinking was it was a rock label, but it was also distributed nationally and in the States too.
Yeah.
At that point, right? It ended up just being in Canada, but at first it was supposed to be distributed on all in North America. So we're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is our chance to do some shit here because we know we've been doing shows for a couple of years, like steady, maybe every weekend doing shows in different towns in Nova Scotia. That's why
Right.
the label itself knew about us and wanted us to sign us once they seen us live.
Yeah. How was that experience, man? I mean, you guys were in high school, right? When that opportunity came, you have to get like your parents involved, or no? Was it like, how was that legal review, or is it just kind of like, hey, this is awesome, let's sign and let's do this thing?
Yeah, my parents weren't involved at all. They just they'd lend us a car to fucking drive to different shows at different towns. That's about it. That was there. They didn't even understand what we were doing, what the hell rap was at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I mean, I could see that it was still brand new at the time. And you mentioned 6'2", had broken off, and then but I know that he stayed and still a collaborator
Yep,
moving forward. But as I understand it too, Stinking Rich Terry, who later becomes Buck 65,
yep.
also contributed to some of your music. Is that correct? And how did you guys meet?
We met him and Joe Run Bombay at that point. They both were helping us record the album. Joe Run through letting us. He had tons of actual break beats. I had all the samples, but I didn't have drums because my
Okay.
dad he wasn't finding drum shit, right? So yeah, he would come to the studio with his drums, let us sample them, and then I'd make the beat around it. And Stinking Rich, Buck 65 at the time, he was one of our friends too, and just through doing live shows. So we wanted to do a song with him. So he came in and did the song Jizz with us on that.
Yeah, is he from Nova Scotia as well?
Yeah, him and Joe Ron are both from Halifax.
Oh,
Originally.
crazy, man. Okay, so different high school though, but same music scene.
Yeah, same music scene, but those were the older guys in the scene. We were the younger guys. It was
Ah, I
there.
gotcha, man.
We were like 17, 18, and they were in their early 20s.
Okay. Well, hey, man. As I mentioned in the beginning, you've got countless albums that you've released or projects. But you just recently released a new project on the 1st of October, Bass Breaks and VHS tapes with Black Buffalo Records, and really, really dope album, man. Just up tempo hip hop and electro. It had some features on it, and really, man, I just when I listened to it, the first track, the Naked Cage, just oh man, it just very nostalgic. Took me back to the '80s, and I thought it was like the perfect break dancing album that
That's
you
what
can
I was
use,
going
man.
for, though. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It was like that, and it rode the whole time. But can you tell me what was the album? Just a collection of beats that you had that you put together, or in your mind, was it like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna start rocking it as is? How did that
Uh,
go down?
it was in my mind for a while because originally 10 years ago, I was supposed to do an album with beats kind of like that with my man Fat Matt,
Yeah,
and who I've made countless albums with too. But he just could never rhyme that fast over like 130 beats a minute and just keep it going.
right.
So it was been in the back of my mind for a while. And then in the end, I was like, it's just going to be an instrumental record for breakdancing or people just driving or something faster shit, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Then I ran into a friend of mine who was Kurt Comstock, who's in that his group is Electric City Underground.
yeah,
He was doing somewhat of the same stuff, just with a more different approach to the music. It's not hip hop. It was more uh alternative with some beats.
yeah.
And I just asked him if he wanted. I was like, I got beats that are somewhat harder than these, but do you want to do some shit? And he sent me a whole bunch of acapellas that he just ideas.
Oh wow.
So I was like, I'm just gonna put four him on four of the songs, and the rest will be instrumental.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And that it's funny you mentioned that too. I always, when I'm picking through beats too, sometimes tend to stay away from those real fast ones, even though I enjoy them.
No,
Just
100%.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of people can't rap that fast. Holy shit!
yeah. And so, but it
People
was cool. It,
can.
it, it worked though, man. And Buck 65 did it too as well. And that was another favorite track that I had. The Crypt Keeper song was
those
super
two,
cool.
those two actually were just supposed to just say bonus track because they weren't on that album at all. But
Oh,
I've
I see.
I've had the songs for a couple of years, and I was like, they got to come out on something. So,
Yeah,
and I've tried to do more songs with him, but he's so busy. He does albums with people all the time. It's like you gotta wait in line pretty much because he's
yeah.
quick. He's quick, but he does a lot of shit.
Yeah, yeah, he's on demand, but it's great that it worked out, and then yeah, just a bunch of tracks. But I enjoyed it from start to finish. But I would say my favorite track was the "Let the Conguero Get Some." It was
So, yeah, I like that one too. I actually
yeah,
just got the
yeah.
CD in my hands today, so I was listening to it in the car driving through that fucking hurricane.
Hey man, how long did the album take to put together? Was that quite a easy project to do since you've already kind of thought about it in your head, or was it
Uh,
a little
took
longer than
probably
expected?
a little bit, tiny bit longer. I was waiting on a lot. At first, I was waiting on a lot of people to collaborate with that said that they would, and then I just said fuck it and just make it instrumental.
Yeah. Okay. I see, man. Yeah, and so I think I thought I saw some art for it to be on a cassette. Did you press it on anything else, or was it just a
Cassette
digital
and
release?
cassette and CD.
I read a little bit about it, and I saw that you pulled a lot of the samples from old VHS tapes. Is that correct?
Yeah, every song on there has at least one part that's a VHS sample, whether it's
Yeah,
music,
that's all. That is
either.
awesome, man. Hey,
Yeah.
do you collect VHS tapes, or how'd you go about finding these tapes?
I didn't really start collecting VHS tapes. What I was doing was buying them because I've even since when I was in high school, I would sample things off the VHS, like music that you couldn't
Yeah,
find on record, right?
yeah.
And then it just became a giant collection of fucking VHS tapes, which I had to start just fucking selling them for nothing, pretty much. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I do have like a whole rack of ones that are worth money, but I wouldn't sell them.
So what about nowadays, man? Are you still spinning or is it strictly producing now? Where do you allocate your time to in between them?
I still do both.
Okay.
I
Yeah. And so you've transitioned. I'm sure you're not spinning vinyl anymore. You've transitioned to Serato, right?
Yeah, the only time I spin vinyl was like today. I was at a spinning at a record fair, so
Yeah.
I still buy vinyl all the time. So I always get every once or twice a year they have a record fair there that I get to go DJ at. So that's good. They at least get used that way, right?
Yeah, very cool. Did you hang on to all your vinyl from back in the day, or did you clean that up pretty nicely and got rid of a lot?
I kept it too, but as I get older, like ones that are just sitting in my thing that I know are worth like a
Yeah.
hundred, I'll just sell it. It's all good.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I'm staring at your tape collection in back of you. I'm like, God damn, there's probably some gold. There's some gold nuggets back there, man.
In this video, instead of wallpaper, I fucking bought every tape rack I ever found and filled the whole studio. Every wall is filled with tapes.
Yeah, and I saw that. You had a stack of tapes that had a bunch, and I mentioned it to you on social media, the Mac Dre stuff and Mac Mall, and I was like, man, I'm just a big Bay Area rap fan. I'm from Cali, so yeah, that's
Nice.
cool. That's good to know that you got like a wide, diverse taste of hip hop and rap music in general. Did you get into Bay Area rap a lot?
At the time, not as much because I was an East Coast dude, but
Yeah,
then
yeah,
as
sure.
as I moved from Toronto to Vancouver, then I got exposed to it way more.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Hey, who
Late
are you
night.
listening to in the U.S.? What kind of rappers or underground rap did you like when you moved over to Vancouver? Who was influential in the stuff that you made?
Uh, I wouldn't really say anybody because I
Yeah,
started. I was so young that making beats that it just kind of morphed into something else. So when I was a little younger, though, I when I first started, it was more about I was being taught how to produce and make records by listening to like Boogie Down Productions production and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like just a dope sample that you can change up a couple times and then add drums and some like hard bass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, do you mix your own stuff too, or are you just you put the beats together and send it off for mixing and mastering?
No, I mix it all myself. I we pay some friend of mine. His name's the Stunt Man to master everything. He's a Grammy winning master. So
Oh shit, man, touches it up nicely. Yeah,
yeah,
mixing is quite that's quite an art too, man. So yeah, oh man, very difficult
I learned a
task,
lot
and
of
you got to be very
I
patient.
learned a lot of mixing stuff when I was in Len because we'd obviously be going into giant fucking studios.
Right.
We made like their second record that it came out, but it didn't really come out. We made that in actually in the studio in Hollywood that Michael Jackson fucking recorded in.
Oh shit, that's wild, man.
Yeah, it was fucking cool.
Yeah, hey, what do you use in the mix these days? What's your platform of choice when you're making beats and mixing?
I use Pro Tools, still
Okay.
Pro Tools LE, like
Yeah.
it's a cracked version, but it got everything.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
Normally,
what about when you first started making beats? Was it like Acid Pro or
no,
Fruity Loops, or
it
was
was
it? Is it?
all up until probably 2000 and I was gonna say 5 or 6. I only used like a MPC 2000 hooked into like a
Okay.
type of 8-track
Oh
tape
shit.
machine.
Hey man. Hey, whatever to get the magic out, man, and it served you well, man. And I went into some of the older albums that I didn't get a chance to check out before, but that Pam Greer Step Kids album, holy shit, man! I
And I,
freaking I enjoyed that project a lot, and just off the bat, it was already hard. Remember the old school with Bird of Prey and Bug 65? Just that beat was phenomenal, man. I like it, and
yeah,
so
that was as soon as I found that record, I almost shit myself. I was like, nobody's even used this yet.
I
How
know.
is that's a thing?
Yeah, yeah, that was an exciting album. I'm still halfway through it, but I'm super excited to get through that. That's kind of like the beats I like to use too when I'm making music. But
Nice
yeah, that
chat.
was out. That came out earlier this year. Did you press those too, or is that a digital release?
Yeah, that's a. They're always all my releases are all CD and tape, unless somebody wants to put money in and make vinyl too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Did you as a collector, do you own everything that you've pressed on tape or CD?
Yeah, that's pretty much my main point. Just so
Yeah,
I can hold it in my hand still. I'm like, yes, this is finally out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a child of the '90s too, and there's nothing that beats physical product. I know these days it's a digital game, but man, there's nothing that beats a hot press copy in your hand for sure. So that's awesome.
100%. Should
Yeah, man.
check out the first one too, Pam Greer's Kids.
Oh, okay.
That
Nice.
it's a trilogy. It's Pam Greer's Kids, which I had the idea for that for was like I wanted all the MCs on there and me or a group called Pam Greer's Kids. And then the second one is Pam Greer's Stepkids. And
Yeah.
then the third one is Pam's Grandkids, which I'm making right now. It's just going to be a picture of her looking like she is now, right? She's just older, but she's still hot as fuck.
Yeah, yeah, dude, she freaking stood the test of time, so she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Uh, hey, man, we talked about it already. You did some touring with Len, and you said that hey, you moved out to Toronto after you got the invite. How was that connection made? Did you know the singers from Len, or
Yeah.
how did that go down?
They had moved they were originally from Montreal, and then
Okay.
he had moved, the lead singer Mark had moved to Halifax at the same time as my group in high school was doing a lot of shows, and we met him there, and he had started the group Len in Montreal
Oh man, okay.
and brought it down. He had a story that he had his own studio down there, like a big mixing board, a fucking 24 track tape machine, and fucking all
Yeah.
these mics and everything. And he said, "Yeah, before I left, I found this fucking wallet with a credit card in it, and I just went to the music store and I fucking rented all this, and then I rented a truck, and then I moved to Halifax."
Oh shit.
I was like, "Okay then."
Oh man.
But
Hey,
yeah, that's how I met him. He moved back to Toronto and got a record deal, and he called me back, and he's like, "We want you to be the DJ for the group. We're going to be going to Europe and fucking Spain and all this shit." And I was
that
like,
is
"Yeah,
wild.
I'll
Yeah,
move
so
right."
that was that right at the release of their album in 1999, the first album, or was that a little after?
It was right at the right at the same time that the single "Steal My Sunshine" came out on the Go soundtrack. It's
Oh,
right before the album came out.
right. And I mean, you probably had no idea how big they were gonna blow up before going on tour, huh?
No, because he had that song "Steal My Sunshine" for like 3 years before he had made
Man,
that song. It just didn't fit because they were like a alternative rock group,
right.
kind of like Ween and shit like that. Like there's some funny shit and there was some beats and then there was fucking
Some hard
songs
shit.
just straight up Green Day type shit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and I remember that song, man. I was in college at the time when it came out. It was a great track, man. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed, just put you in a good mood. But that's crazy that it was sitting in the vaults for about 3 years before it made its public release, and then it went crazy from there. So did you get to go to all over? Did you get to go tour with them all over Europe and across
Yep.
the United States? Man, that must
Yep.
have been wild, man.
Yeah, it was fucking pretty bonkers, man, because it's when you get that big, everything's free, like booze, fucking
Yeah,
food, everything's free. So
yeah. And you were
that,
what, probably early 20s when that happened, right?
yep.
Okay.
Well, probably the mid 20s. Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, do you still keep in touch with those guys?
Uh, MC Mackenzie, yeah. Not the rest of nobody else. No.
Hey man, well that's a great accomplishment, man, that you got to achieve and just go tour all across the world
Oh
and
yeah,
probably a lot of sleepless nights and rock star partying, but very cool, man. I thought that was awesome when I found out about that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, hey
Fucking just
man, have you you mentioned that it was always DJing, but did you dabble in any of the other elements? I know you didn't really rap too much, but did you try graffiti or breakdancing at all, or was it always just producing beats?
yeah. I know. I just left that to people that could do it.
Hey, I hear you, man. What
Yeah.
about these days? How do you like the stuff that's coming out, or who are your favorite producers and even rappers? Do you have a couple that you'd like to mention?
Uh, Producers, I really every time something by DJ Quick comes out, I really like his shit.
No, he's
Production
awesome.
wise, it all sounds really warm and stuff, and that's what he still says he doesn't use a computer at all. He still uses all that old shit.
Wow, I believe it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe it sounds really his all of his bass and everything, the drums all sound really warm and stuff always. So he's one of my favorite producers now, and
I talked about it earlier, man. Again, you just have an amazing collection of music out there. So, are you still collecting, or is it more just trying to trim down what you have? That amazing collection of just hip hop over the years, man.
4,000 rap tapes.
Oh man,
Uh,
yeah.
I still buy stuff that I fucking really like. I don't buy like at one point, probably 10 years ago, I was just buying any fucking rap tape if I didn't have it, just so I can. Because remember, I told you I was trying to fucking make it. The tapes were on the wall.
Wallpaper, right?
I gotta fill
Yeah,
these fucking 5,000 tape units.
yeah. That's
I almost
that's
got it.
great, man.
And
Well, hey,
I put all the extra records I had on my ceiling. Look,
yeah, I love it, man. So is that where all the magic happens? Yeah, are we sitting right by? Yep, I
the
see the stuff right there. Yep, nice.
MP3 Renaissance is what I use right now.
Yeah, man. Hey, how hard is it? How hard is it? Are you just pulling all your samples now online? I know, like a lot of these record shops I go to, they overprice their records. And,
No, they're all fucking dollar records. Like I was
yeah.
at the record fair today,
Okay.
and I paid for it.
Hooked
So I
up
got
on some.
given a whole bunch of fucking records, just like
Okay.
dollar records. This is a
Yeah.
stack to look through today.
Yeah. There's something in everything, man. At least I
Yep,
like to think that.
take a
Yeah.
couple here and there, and it's all good.
Yeah. It is definitely a little easier to find samples online stuff too. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing that beats buying that record and kind of choosing based off the cover too.
Oh
How
yeah,
crazy a cover is, like, this probably got some shit on
and look at that guy
it.
fucking winking at me. This guy's trying to tell me something. There's something on this.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, hey, what's on your playlist these days? What are you listening to a lot?
Nothing.
Your stuff.
mixing so much of my own shit all the time that I put it on a stick and listen to it in my car pretty much all the time on the way to work, way home from work, driving to fucking Halifax.
Yeah. Got to pass
Just,
the car test, right? It's got to sound good in the car.
yep, that's the only reason my car gets subwoofers.
Yeah. Hey,
I got
so
a Honda CRV with
yeah,
just bass Honda CRV with just the normal Honda fucking radio and subwoofers in it.
that's hilarious, man. Hey, I don't know if you feel this way, but I certainly do. But by the time that your album or your project comes out, are you sick of it at that point? Because you've heard it so many times.
Once I listen to the CD of it in my hand in my
Yeah,
car once to make
yeah,
sure it all was good, then that's it.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I love that you loved it, but I can't stand it now.
Yeah, exactly, man. I just put something out. I'm like, oh man, having a hard time. I'm already working on like the next project.
I listened to this
But yeah, it's
album
still
5,000 times.
yeah, exactly. And it's pretty exciting though. The part that I like is to guess the song that people like, right? I'm always thinking like, oh, this is fucking the banger for sure.
Yeah.
Song that people like, and it's fucking I'm never right. So
You like my
it's
favorite song, so that's good.
yeah, hey man, I know that's why I was
The
surprised. I was like,
Conguero
yeah,
one. Yeah.
shit, awesome.
I was listening to that bongo sample for so fucking long and chopping it up and making it fit that
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this song's got to be something about a bongo player, but I didn't want to say bongo player. And I had to look it up. I was like, what's the bongo player's real name? And I guess Conguero.
I gotcha.
But it is.
Nice.
Let that guy get some. Fuck it.
As mentioned, I really enjoyed the new release, and I'm excited to go back to some of the ones that I missed, like the Pam Grier series. I can't wait till Grandkids comes out. But
Nice.
it's super dope, man. I appreciate just kind of going into your history, and you've done a lot for Canadian hip hop.
Thanks.
Just yeah, man, you put it down, and yeah,
And I
Canada's
was
got. Well, hey, good man. Again, it was an honor to speak with you, man. I really enjoyed just going into history. I enjoy going through pockets of hip hop history around the world. So, man, that was cool about just your background in the group, Hip Club Groove. That was fun, and just talk about some of the amazing things that you've done. So, definitely enjoyed it. I usually like to close the interview out with some fun questions. So, if you're ready,
okay.
man, I'll kick some of these questions off. What's an embarrassing trend that you followed?
Uh, way oversized fucking pants.
Yeah.
The early
Yep.
90s, man, my pants were like 38 and I was like fucking 130 pounds.
Yep. Yep. Okay. I'm guilty too as well. And then I
Green.
see kids too as well.
So
The pants pulled down. I'm like, what
I
the
used to
fuck?
have a fucking pair of green crushed velvet fucking jeans.
Oh
Holy
man.
shit.
We
Where the
got we
fuck
got to
was
see we need the photos, man. All
I? Nope.
right. All right, man. Hey, what is your hidden talent, man? What's something that you are very good at that not a lot of people know?
Uh uh making the fart noise with my armpit. I was a fucking
Yeah,
wizard at that, man, in high school. Holy
hey,
fuck.
cheap fun, man. I am good at that too as well.
You do it. I could do it with my hands too on beat really good. People used to call me the human hand box.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, man. Here's the last three. Hey, when you're lazy and you don't feel like cooking, what is your go-to takeout order?
uh it would be Wendy's chili cheese nachos on top of the fucking BLT chicken sandwich.
Damn, that sounds good as fuck right now.
Oh, it's good. I've
Yeah.
introduced it to other people and they were like, fucking thank you.
I'm going to lunch after this, so yeah, fucking awesome. Hey, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Pet peeve? Being late. I don't know why it is, but I'm one of those people. Usually get to places early.
Yep, I'm the same way, man. That's funny you mentioned
Sometimes I
that.
get I don't get bad anxiety, but when I do, it's because I'm fucking late.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
fucking fresh to get somewhere. I'm like, fuck, I'm never. It's probably from fucking doing so many shows when I was a kid. We were always rushing to get there, right?
yeah,
You're
yeah,
late, you're fucked because the person would fuck you, you wouldn't get paid, fucking
yeah,
all this other shit. One time we did a fucking show in London, Ontario, and we were late. We were touring from Vancouver,
yeah.
and we got there 2 hours late, and they shut the whole fucking show down and put a sign on the door that said the low pressure show is canceled because they just felt like they didn't want to show up.
Oh fuck, man.
That was right at the start of cell phones, and
Yeah,
our cell phone didn't have any service for fuck's sakes. We're
yeah,
stuck in traffic for fucking 2 hours. We get there, there's a
yeah.
big sign that's dissing us on the fucking door.
I feel you on that, man. I don't like being late too, and I'm one of those things that show up early. So I feel you. I totally understand.
And of
Okay.
course, get a girlfriend who likes to be late.
Oh, right,
So
right,
of
right.
course, yeah.
And I guess it's preference, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm on that side that I feel like I got to go really early. I'm really bad when I'm too early, but
Yeah.
whatever. Hey, man. Hey, that was great, man. Had fun doing this. As we get to the end, are there any other special events or projects that you want to tell folks about? You mentioned the last installment of the Pam Grier album that's coming out pretty soon. Anything else to look out for?
Uh, November 3rd, I believe, is my release show for bass breaks and VHS tapes. And
Nice.
it's gonna be me and Electric City Underground doing our 4 songs and
Okay.
Touchy live at a fashion show in Halifax.
Ooh, that sounds cool, man.
Yeah, we're doing it live while the people are walking on the runway.
Very cool, man. Too bad
So
you
that's
can't give.
cool. It's at the Dome in Halifax. If anybody
Oh,
from
dude,
Halifax
that sounds
wants it,
exciting.
it'll be good.
Yeah, and I know you got a project too with my boys, Perfect Color Combination, right? You
They're
guys got.
the CDs
I think
made
you
now.
guys put. What's that?
They're getting their CDs made of it now.
Yeah, that's right, man. Was it a full album or you just
Yep.
contributed a couple beats to it?
No, they as I put beats up because I sell beats
Yep.
too. Make so many. They bought all the beats off of me for a pretty good price, and then they made the whole album.
Nice, man. Very
They're
cool. Well, I'm excited to check that
they're
out,
also
man.
they're also on Pam's grandkid.
Nice. I look forward to it, man. So hey, super exciting. That's another release you guys got to check out. And then for folks who are tuning in, where's the best place to find music by DJ Moves? Where do you want them going?
Uh, uh, Big Moves lpfc.bandcamp.com. That has everything I've ever done.
Yes, sir.
That's
All right,
that's
good.
fine to sell anyway.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, with that, man, again, I look forward to getting this interview out. Any final words before we close this amazing session out?
Yeah, just don't be a corn dick.
Yeah, you're the man. Don't be a corn dick. All right, brother. Hey, thank you. All right. Hey,
I appreciate you letting me talk.
absolutely, man. That was fun, man.